What you doing, Diggletdreamers? You got Mathras back with another moveset Monday, and today it's Kantonian Articuno. Quinlanding has been running all over the OU ladder with this thing, and he's been having a pretty good time with it. So it's gone through a few small changes in the time that it's been around. I believe for the large part of the time, it would run Ice Beam and Freeze Dry, but I think settled on just Freeze Dry now. So this is the set, basically. Heavy Duty Boots is kind of the biggest buff that Articuno has gotten since its inception, making you immune to the rock damage, so you can switch in pretty freely. Freeze Dry also really cool. Obviously, if you didn't know, it's super effective versus water types. It's also has a 10% chance to freeze, so it's basically like a weaker Ice Beam that also hits water types. So it lets you have one less resist to the attack. So you just got to watch out for steel types with this set, basically. Maybe pair it with Magnezone or something. But yeah, Roost, great for longevity. Lets you heal up when you're going to be tanking hits, which you're going to be doing a lot. Heal Bell, also super useful, supports the whole team and prevents you from being toxic and whittled down in that way. And then you also toxic yourself, because most other people probably aren't going to be running Heal Bell, so you can easily toxic big threats that are going to try to knock you out, fail, and then get toxic and whittled all the way down, which is pretty cool. Pressure, not really the best in the world. I mean, maybe it'll come into play sometime if you need to stall somebody out, but it is a little bit better than Snow Cloak, so there's that. For the EV spread, you want to do like as much HP and special defense as you can. I think a pretty good option though is this speed tier, which lets you outspeed a no speed Moltres, which is pretty cool. You can even bump it up a few to 52 EVs, and that'll let you outspeed a no speed Landorus, which I thought was pretty cool, because you could probably just OHKO it with a freeze dry, or at least get close to it. But then I also like, the only way that the Landorus is going to really hurt you is if it's running Stone Edge, so it's not that big a deal. Yeah, so that's basically the set. Obviously, if you want to run Ice Beam over Freeze Dry, it's a little bit more powerful, lets you guaranteed kind of knock out those ice weak Pokemon like Zygarde and Landorus. That could be much bigger threats, Garchomp even. But Freeze Dry does let you hit a lot of the common ice type switch-ins like Toxapex, Tapu Fini. Lets you OHKO things like Seismitoad and Mantine, Quagsire, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. Obviously, Ice Beam does hit those things hard, but Freeze Dry is double effective. So there are a few other options. I have another set here. Defog is also super good on this set, because you've got the boots, you're switching into rocks very freely, and then you can obviously defog those away, because you're going to be tanking hits, and you're going to have opportunities to defog. U-turn, I think, is also a super good move on this thing. U-turn, obviously one of the best moves in the game, getting to basically making this Articuno set like a really functional pivot. You can come in, tank the hit, and then on the Pokemon that's going to fear the ice move and switch out, you U-turn and get in your big offensive threat that can scare out the Pokemon that they're switching into Articuno, which is pretty cool. So Articuno actually has, I think it has a lot of really cool utility, aside from just being a really great, especially defensive Pokemon. Yeah, and 95 special attack, not bad for a defensive Pokemon. If you want. I did also see a Curse Articuno at some point. I wouldn't recommend running that, but it does seem pretty heat. I got a few replays here from Quinlanding's perspective. Most of these have probably been featured in a Vault of Replay video, so if you want to check those out, highly recommend it. But it just kind of, a bunch of these replays just kind of showcase the Articuno set and how it can tank hits and dish it back pretty hard. Weather Ball, come on. I mean, it's switching in, so it's not that big a deal. Regieleki comes in, which is not a great thing because, I mean, with the Toxic Spike up, with Freeze Dry, this thing is not going to be enjoying taking that hit. And I think there might be more with this replay. Yeah. Yeah, it comes back in on the Tapu Fini. Tanks the Scald in the rain, too, might I add. Like that Weather Ball and that Scald were both in the rain. Gets a Roost here on the Kartana. And then tanks the Smart Strike, which is just nuts. And look how much damage it's doing back. I mean, that is Ice Beam, but Freeze Dry is going to be doing, like, it'll have a little bit more HP left, but that's an easy 2-hit KO on Kartana, which is pretty cool. And does this Articuno do anything more in this replay? No. Yeah, okay, so this is versus Moltres with a Light Screen. If you guys didn't know, Moltres is a very, very bulky, especially defensive Pokemon. Yeah, this comes in as it goes for an Agility. And I just don't know if this is the way with Moltres. Like, I've seen a lot of people just run Agility and stuff, but I just don't feel like it's the way. Check out the previous Moveset Monday for Assault Vest Galarian Moltres. Yeah, getting the Toxic off as it Agilities, and it goes for Nasty Plot, or no, and Fiery Rat that time, which only did 21%. And so it gets the Nasty Plot up here, and look, it's still going to be eating it up. Gets a flinch here, but it doesn't matter, because even another Fiery Wrath is not going to be enough, and you're going to be able to Roost on it. Easy. Toxic's already whittling down. Light Screen is still up, but it doesn't matter, because no move has gone through it. It's all just been tanking these hits from this +2 Moltres, which ends up causing the opponent to forfeit there, because nobody likes their +2 Moltres to get walled by Articuno. Okay, now we've got, it's 3v4. It looks pretty tough, but Articuno's got Freeze Dry, which hits everything on this guy's team. So goes for the Aqua Jet there, no damage. Freeze Dry, almost knocking him out, but Poison leaves him with 3%. And of course, just Roost here, why not? Poison's going to take him down, no need to attack there. So the Urshifu goes down. Landorus comes in, Sludge Wave easily tanked, no chance of Poison because of sheer force, and down it goes. Would have gone down to Freeze Dry too, I'm sure. But obviously, as I mentioned, the set has changed a lot in testing and playing. So Slowbro has to Thunder Wave the threat because it's too much of a threat. But the Freeze Dry is doing over half. So with a few lucky paralyzations, unfortunately, the Slowbro is gonna get out with its life right now with a teleport. But in comes Zygarde, and basically what Zygarde needs right here is a bunch of paralyzations in order to not lose. But Articuno's not gonna let that happen, because Articuno is one of the most reliable Pokemon that's ever graced the OU tier. Just goes for an attack there, doing 36% with 1,000 arrows. That's a Zygarde taken down by Articuno. And Slowbro poisoned, 2-hit KO by Freeze Dry. It's over. Articuno just walled this guy's entire team. Of course, once the 2 steel types are gone, just completely obliterated it. It's impressive. And now we got one last replay here. I think I just started this from the beginning because I'm pretty sure Articuno just like does stuff this whole battle. Very unfortunate turn 1. Maybe I shouldn't have showcased that. But in comes the Toxapex. Freeze Dry, not doing enough, but you know, it is damage, a lot more than Ice Beam would be. And especially if they decide to not like recover or something here. But the cool thing here is that it does kind of force Toxapex on the switch to go for a recover or switch out and get Regenerator, because it doesn't let them go for a Scald or a Toxic Spikes or anything like that, because you're going to be hitting them with another Freeze Dry and then putting them in range to get KO'd on the following turn. And, well, maybe depending on rules. But basically, if they decide to go for a Scald or a Toxic Spikes or something like that, then they're in a much worse position. They're in a much more... they're backed into a corner a little bit, which is kind of nice. Obviously the freeze dry did not KO there, but for whatever reason this guy just decided not to recover. So in comes the Volcarona, gets Toxic, tanks the Fiery Dance, no problem, to just get a little chip damage with Ice Beam. And then, you know, no point in letting the Fiery Dance knock it out on the next turn, so switches out. But we'll be back for sure. Toxic whittling this thing down. Spectre, I mean, yeah. We can skip ahead a little bit. Oh wait, what happened there? Oh, Whirlwind, I remember. Whirlwinds him out in Articuno, which is a great position to be in versus Mandibuzz. Goes for the Roost here, and knows that it can tank a Fiery Dance pretty well, I must say, considering that's super effective and a Volcarona. Gets a Roost off there. Toxic is going to take him down next turn, so even the +1 Fiery Dance is not going to knock this out, and just goes for the Roost, and the Toxic finishes off the Volcarona. That's crazy. That's crazy. Cinderace, of course, big threat, but that's why you have other Pokemon on the team, because this isn't about Articuno 6-0ing a team, it's about being a functional member of a team. Yeah, Quinlanding's crazy. Acrobatics, Regieleki. But yeah, switches into the Landorus, which is banned now. Banned to Ubers, I must say. But Articuno didn't care. Articuno said, go ahead and stay in OU if you want, Landorus. I'm here to take every hit that you ever want. This guy even asks for the Articuno set. Asks for it. That's how good it's been doing. Freeze Dry obviously to a KO here with Oxpex so low, as he just continues to go for a Toxic Spike. But the second Freeze Dry, of course, knocks out the Toxpex there. Cinderace comes in again. Landorus still there. Gonna tank that Gunk Shot for sure. I don't know what he was going to Gunk Shot for. I don't see a reason not to just click the Fire move unless he's trying not to miss, but I think Gunk Shot misses even more than Pyro Ball. Anyway, I'm not here to critique this replay. Let's see. Still with the Acrobatics. And that knocks out the Regieleki. But in comes the Articuno once again. Freeze Dry, knock out the Mandibuzz. In comes the Cinderace again. I mean, like, Articuno, Landorus, that should be your core. I mean, Landorus is just so good on any team. In comes the Landorus, U-turn, and guess who's coming back? No, never mind. Could it be, is it just a... Oh no. Surging Strikes knocks out the Spectrobes. And in comes the threat once again. Cinderace comes in, gets freeze dried. Landorus comes in and knocks it out. Still going for Gunk Shot for some reason. But now it's just Urshifu Water versus Articuno. 1v1. Thunder Punch, but freeze dry knocks him out with a crit. Not sure how much that crit mattered, but you know, Articuno put in work that entire game, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so that's the Articuno set. Check it out, try it out if you want. This Pokemon, this Articuno, this Pokemon is also in the RU tier, so you can try it out in RU, UU, where it's going to be tanking hits even better because there's a lot less powerful, threatening Pokemon in the lower tiers. Of course, they would be in OU if they were. So, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Leave a like, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace out. Keep dreaming. See you in the next one. Peace out. Keep dreaming. I'm gonna die. Oh.